In distribution in particular, usually the biggest ticket item in all of the P&L is the cost of the sales force, or it's one of the biggest ticket items. And that means we're spending an awful lot of money on low productivity. And because the world is changing and people don't buy by having face-to-face conversations anymore, it means that we're spending a lot of time trying to achieve something that actually doesn't sell anymore either.
That's right.
And so this is a crucial area for distribution companies to be thinking about in terms of their evolution. And a few years from now, as we cross into the next decade, the best of the companies are no longer going to have these regimes. I wonder if they all realize that what you're really doing is you're going to help them restructure their sales force in some way.
Most of them don't up front, but when we bring in the data from their folks, they do, and when we start to talk about this with them, it makes sense. Because the reason we have specialization and division of labor is because whether it's a science society or it's a government or it's a business, when they get to a sufficient size and a sufficient level of complexity, then you've got to have specialization and division of labor to get things done. It's just efficient. And we use bureaucracy as a negative term all the time, but bureaucracy just means a way of organizing, all right? And specialization and division of labor are critical to that. And so we've got to put that into sales as well.
So what we're talking about is when you're going in and doing a concierge customer service project, you're talking about a specialized team, a small team that looks after the needs and wants of a narrow part of the best part of the customer base. And then out of this part, that means that some of that customer interaction stuff that salespeople have traditionally done is being done by specialists that have more time, energy, access, efficiency in making sure the customer service part happens. It also means the sales force is not doing a part of that long process that I described a moment ago, and they can focus more on parts of it that they can do. You are doing surveys to find out what the customers want. You're getting feedback that can be translated back into a marketing message as how good the company is, so that the beginning part of that sales process, the lead generation, the prospecting, the website, that kind of thing, is getting something out of the customer service function that is helping generate higher levels of more qualified leads.
And we're even generating referrals directly in the surveys.
Yeah, exactly. So you have the referrals as well, and that helps with the conversion process when people are selling. And so it's impacting the front end of the sales process by having testimonials and whatnot to help bring more interested people in. It's giving you better qualified people because they have they're more likely to have an opinion they want to deal with you. And that's something that has been a traditional sales function. And then we're leaving the sales force to do that all-important sales call and presentation role where they're communicating face-to-face.
And we're also finding out what the core interests and wants and needs of the customer are, so that we can orient all the marketing messages, all the things that aren't necessarily the salespeople, but the marketing per se, we can orient to things we know they want and need. So that's another thing that's helping with lead generation and conversion.
Yeah, and that's got to be a good thing, because the best executives that I meet, they have a gut instinct that there's something needs to be better in the way they do selling. They recognize the market is changing, the things that used to work don't work very well anymore, and they're searching for the right answer to get into the new millennium in terms of how selling is going to happen. Reorganizing around top service for the top accounts actually cuts in two dimensions. It shortens the length of the sales chain, and helps you focus on a specific important part of it, but it also helps separate out the top accounts from the medium accounts from the bottom accounts, and make sure that there's certain things that do or do not happen for those accounts, which is very important to optimize a company's operations. And so I expect that you may be the unexpected answer to some of the questions they have about what to do next with the sales force, as you take an important part of that and build a block that everything else can be that can fit around and integrate with. As we're going through this, are you seeing a lot of interactions with the sales force with the concierge customer service group?
That's exactly what has to happen, but there also has to be a clear division who's doing what. But absolutely, they have to be coordinating, and because they're all dealing with the same high-level customers, and so there are going to be times when a high-level customer wants the salesperson and not the concierge customer service person, and there has to be enough flexibility to deal with that, and there has to be enough coordination to deal with that.
Well, I can see that, and as a former, high-performance salesperson, I would have loved to have had an ability to go after a big account and then to have somebody else on my team that wasn't trying to poach the sale, but would basically make sure that everything that I'd promised and everything that I had intended to happen with the account was actually being put in place.
And that's what that concierge customer service person is there to do.
Yeah.
So basically you have a dedicated support function then. So in the end, the salespeople should be really happy about this.
Well, I would say so, but frankly, as a business owner, it's not really a sustainable position to say that our product is similar or the same, our price is similar or the same, our delivery and quality of service is similar or the same, and the only really edge I have is that the customer likes my salesperson more than he likes your salesperson.
Right.
Which is a kind of a crude way of putting it, but really what else is there?
And what happens if that salesperson leaves?
If it leaves or something goes wrong with the relationship, then the customer is gone.
Absolutely.
So I really am looking for business reasons for people to do business with us, and there's a price reason that's available if we're profitable enough, we can afford, and in fact, in particular, if we stop subsidizing money-losing accounts, we have the funding to have a price reason for them to do business with us.
Right.
And if we have a concierge customer service group, then we have a service reason.
That's right.
Where we actually do have a tangible, measurable difference in how it feels to be a customer. That customer experience is going to be different.
And that should make the salespeople delighted, because let's say that we have our high leverage and high efficiency accounts. We identify a group of other potential customers who look like them, okay? And we give that list to our salespeople, and now they can offer what the high level and high leverage and high efficiency accounts have to these prospects, and they have something in their quiver that they can offer that nobody else can offer.